Welcome, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Today, I have something special that could genuinely flip the script on how you live your life. This is not just another video to pass the time. This is a masterclass in the things that actually matter. We are diving into personal development, which is easily one of the most vital areas of your life. Yet, it is the biggest secret schools never tell you. Think about it for a second. We spend over a decade memorizing complex math, dates in history, and scientific theories. But when you step out into the real world, who teaches you how to be truly confident? Who shows you how to influence people, express your ideas clearly, or build a personality that naturally commands respect? The truth is, most of us are left to figure this out on our own. It is why so many people end up spending thousands of dollars on expensive self-help seminars, heavy textbooks, and coaching programs, because they realize deep down that without a strong personality, reaching your full potential is an uphill battle. But listen, you do not need to empty your bank account for this. We live in an era where knowledge is literally at your fingertips. If you have the drive to improve, everything you need to grow is right here, waiting for you. However, there is a catch. While opportunity is everywhere, distraction is also everywhere. Think back 10 years. There were no endless social media loops, no mindless scrolling, and no apps designed to keep you addicted to your screen. Today, it is easier than ever to get lost in the noise. The biggest obstacle to your success is not a lack of resources. It is a lack of focus. If you can master your attention, use technology as a tool rather than a crutch, and sharpen the right skills, you will be miles ahead of everyone else. That is exactly our goal today. By the end of this video, you will have a clear blueprint for building a magnetic personality that makes people want to listen to you and be around you. Plus, you will be sharpening your listening skills along the way. So, stay with me until the very end. And if you are ready to level up your life every single day, hit that subscribe button. Let's learn, grow, and explore this journey together. Lesson 1. Mastering the art of communication. Let's jump right into the first and most vital skill, your ability to communicate. This is the bedrock of influence, confidence, and long-term success. To be blunt, how you speak and listen is the single most powerful tool you will ever own. When you communicate effectively, you naturally exude confidence, build deeper connections with others, and leave a lasting impression that opens doors. The problem is that most people assume they are great communicators simply because they talk every day. But in reality, they are often missing the mark. They fall into common traps: avoiding eye contact, rushing through sentences, using weak body language, or failing to listen to understand instead of just waiting for their turn to speak. Let's break this down into 3 simple ways you can master this. First, eye contact. Think of it as the silent language of confidence. Imagine you are in a meeting with 2 people. The first person is constantly looking at the floor or glancing around the room, clearly nervous. The second person meets your gaze calmly, holds it, and stays present. Who do you find more trustworthy? Who do you respect more? Obviously, the second person. When you avoid eye contact, you look insecure, and people subconsciously stop taking you seriously. You don't need to stare someone down, that is just awkward. Instead, aim for a relaxed gaze of 3 to 5 seconds, and nod occasionally while you listen. This small habit makes you look composed and powerful. Second, the pace of your voice. Many people talk too fast because they are anxious, or they drone on too slowly, which just bores the listener to death. The secret is to find a controlled, rhythmic pace. Try pausing before you drop an important point. Slow down when you need the other person to really grasp a complex idea. Speed up just a little bit when you want to inject some energy into the conversation. This simple variation makes you sound engaging and keeps people leaning in. Finally, the art of active listening. This is where most people fail. They are too busy rehearsing their next sentence in their head to actually hear what is being said. But the best communicators listen more than they speak. Why? Because when you make someone feel truly heard, they feel valued. They walk away from the conversation thinking, wow, that person really gets me. Next time you are talking to someone, silence your internal monologue. Focus entirely on their words. When they finish, take a 1-second pause before you reply. It shows you are thinking about what they said, not just waiting for your turn. These tiny adjustments will transform you from just another person in the room into someone people genuinely want to connect with. Lesson 2. Body language. Speaking without words. Did you know that words are only the tip of the iceberg? Research shows that a huge chunk of your communication, some say over 90%, comes down to your body language and the tone of your voice. You could say all the right things, but if your body is sending the wrong signals, people simply won't respect your message. So, how do you fix this and start owning the room? It starts with your posture. Picture two people walking into a meeting. One person is hunched over, shoulders slumped, looking like they want to disappear into the carpet. The other stands tall, chest open, shoulders back, and head held high. Who do you think commands the room? Obviously, the second person. Your posture is a silent signal to the world about how much value you place on yourself. From now on, practice the leader's stance. Keep your back straight and your shoulders relaxed. When you catch yourself slouching, consciously correct it. You will be surprised at how quickly this physical change shifts your internal confidence too. Then, there are your hands. Many people get nervous and hide their hands in their pockets or cross their arms, which can make you look defensive or closed off. Instead, use natural, open gestures. When you are explaining an idea, let your hands move with your words. It makes you look expressive and, more importantly, authentic. Just a quick warning. Avoid pointing your finger aggressively, as that can come across as confrontational. Keep your movements fluid and open. Think of your body as an instrument. When you align your posture and your gestures with your words, you become incredibly persuasive. It is about closing the gap between what you say and how you present yourself. Small tweaks in how you hold your space make a massive difference in how others perceive your authority. So, next time you are out, check your shoulders, uncross your arms, and stand like you belong exactly where you are. You will feel the difference in how people react to you immediately. Lesson 3. Money management. The wealth mindset. Let's talk about something that makes or breaks your future. How you handle your money. Most people spend their entire lives grinding away to earn a paycheck. But here is the irony. Earning money isn't the real hurdle. The real challenge is keeping it, growing it, and putting it to work for you. Have you ever wondered why some people pull in a massive salary but are always broke, while others on a modest income manage to build real wealth over time? The difference isn't luck. It is a system. It is honestly tragic that schools teach us how to solve complex equations, but never show us how to handle a simple monthly budget. We learn about historical dates, but we don't learn how to avoid the trap of high-interest debt or how to make our savings grow. This is why so many people are still living paycheck to paycheck well into their middle age, constantly stressed about their next bill. But here's the good news. You can take control starting today. The best way to start is by following the 50-30-20 rule. Think of it as your financial compass. 50% of your income goes to your essentials, rent, groceries, and bills. 30% is for your wants, the things that make life enjoyable, like hobbies or entertainment. And the remaining 20%? That is for your future. This portion should go straight to your savings or investments before you spend a single cent on anything else. Most people do the exact opposite. They spend first and hope there is something left over to save, which, let's be honest, almost never happens. Beyond budgeting, you have to understand the power of investing. Simply saving your cash in a bank account isn't enough because inflation is constantly eating away at its value. To get ahead, You need your money to work for you. Whether it is stocks, mutual funds, or other assets, the goal is to let your money multiply over time. If you start small today, the magic of compound interest will do the heavy lifting for you in the long run. Finally, break free from the debt trap. Ask yourself before every purchase, do I really need this, or am I just trying to impress people? If you are buying things you don't need with money you don't have, you are sabotaging your own future. Make a golden rule for yourself. If you cannot afford to buy it twice, you simply cannot afford it right now. Shift your mindset from being a consumer to being an investor, and you will see your financial life transform entirely. Lesson 4. Survival skills. Preparedness as a superpower. You might have all the money in the world, but if you don't know how to handle yourself when things go sideways, you are vulnerable. Most people walk through life assuming that everything will always go according to plan. But life has a way of throwing curveballs. What happens if you are in an emergency and need to perform first aid? What if your car breaks down on a desolate road miles away from civilization? Or you find yourself lost in an area where your phone has zero signal? Survival skills aren't just for extreme hikers or adventure junkies. They are essential life tools for everyone. First, let's talk about first aid. Imagine someone beside you suddenly loses consciousness or starts choking. Most people freeze up because they have never taken the time to learn the basics. Panic is a natural reaction, but knowledge is the antidote. Take an afternoon to learn CPR. Understand how to stop heavy bleeding using basic materials you might have in your bag. These aren't just skills to put on a resume. They are the difference between life and death for your friends, your family, or even a total stranger. Being the person who stays calm and knows what to do in a crisis makes you a pillar of strength. Second, learn how to navigate without relying on your phone. We have all become addicted to GPS, but technology is fragile. Batteries die, signals drop, and software glitches. If you find yourself in an unfamiliar place, you should know how to read your surroundings. Learn to identify basic landmarks. Observe the position of the sun to get a general sense of direction, or even carry a physical map if you are heading somewhere remote. It is about building a mindset of self-reliance. When you know you can find your way home, regardless of whether your phone is working, you move through the world with a different kind of confidence. Preparedness isn't about being paranoid. It is about having the peace of mind that no matter what comes your way, you have the skills to handle it. Lesson 5. Etiquette. Respect as a social superpower. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you lack basic manners, people will eventually tune you out. Etiquette isn't about being fake or following stuffy, outdated rules. It is actually a powerful social tool that shows you respect others, which in turn makes them respect you. Think of it as the oil that keeps the gears of your social life running smoothly. Let's start with how you speak. Have you ever noticed how some people command attention the moment they open their mouths? It is rarely because they are using big, complicated words. It is because of their tone and their politeness. Instead of snapping, "Give me that," try, "Could you please pass that to me?" Instead of just saying, "What?" When you don't hear someone, try, "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat it?" These tiny shifts in your language make you sound professional, composed, and undeniably likable. It signals that you value the other person's time and presence. Then, there are your table manners. Whether you are grabbing a casual lunch with a buddy or sitting down for a high-stakes business dinner, how you eat says a lot about you. Avoid talking with your mouth full. It is a classic turn-off. Keep your noise levels down, and if you are at a buffet, only take what you can actually finish. It might sound like common sense, but you would be shocked at how many people overlook these basic habits. Remember, etiquette is about creating a comfortable environment for the people around you. When you are the person who is always polite, considerate, and aware of social cues, you become the person everyone wants to work with, talk to, and invite back. It is a simple, low-effort way to boost your reputation and build meaningful connections everywhere you go. Never underestimate how far a little courtesy can take you. Lesson 6. Coding. Future-proofing your skill set. Let's talk about a skill that sounds intimidating, but is actually your golden ticket in the 21st century. Coding. You might think coding is only for software engineers or tech wizards, but that is a massive misconception. In a world that is becoming digital by the second, knowing the basics of how computers think is like having a superpower. Every industry, from finance to fashion, is moving online. If you understand even a little bit of code, you aren't just a user of technology, you become a creator of it. Think about the repetitive, boring tasks you do every day. Maybe it is sorting through files, managing data, or updating a spreadsheet. If you know how to code, you can write simple scripts to automate those tasks in seconds, saving yourself hours of frustration. You don't have to build the next big app to benefit from this. Just knowing how to navigate the logic behind websites and applications puts you light years ahead of the competition. Where should you start? Don't overcomplicate it. Look into Python, which is incredibly beginner-friendly and reads almost like plain English. If you have an interest in design, dip your toes into HTML and CSS to see how websites are actually structured. Once you get the basics down, you stop being dependent on others to build your ideas. Whether you want to launch a side project, create a portfolio website, or just sharpen your problem-solving skills, coding is the ultimate tool for the modern era. You don't need to be an expert developer to make this work for you. Just having a baseline understanding changes how you see the world. You start looking at apps and websites and thinking, I know how that works, and I could probably build something similar. That shift in perspective is invaluable. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and remember that in this digital age, the more you understand about the language of computers, the more unstoppable you become. Lesson 7. Marketing. The art of influence. Have you ever wondered why people line up for hours to buy the latest phone, or why someone would pay double for a branded coffee when a cheaper one tastes exactly the same? The answer isn't just quality, it is marketing. And here is the secret. Marketing isn't just for big corporations. Everything you do in life is a form of marketing. When you go for a job interview, you are marketing yourself. When you share your ideas in a meeting, you are marketing your vision. Even when you are making new friends, you are essentially marketing your personality. At its core, marketing is the ability to influence and persuade. Most people think they make decisions based on cold, hard logic. But the truth is that we decide with our emotions and then use logic to justify those choices later. Why do people buy luxury cars? It is not because they need a faster engine to get to the grocery store. It is because they want the status and the feeling of success. If you want to get ahead, you need to understand what drives people. You need to understand their desires, their fears, and their emotions. To master this, you need to focus on 3 key pillars. First, personal branding. You are your own product. If people trust you, they will listen to your ideas and support your goals. Build a reputation for being reliable, skilled, and honest. Second, the art of storytelling. Don't just list facts or features. Weave them into a narrative. People forget data, but they remember stories that make them feel something. If you are selling a service or an idea, tell a story about how it solves a problem or changes a life. Finally, leverage the platforms you already have. We live in a golden age where Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube are free tools for building your brand. Most people waste these platforms on mindless entertainment, scrolling for hours while others build their future. Do not be that person. Use your online presence to showcase your skills, share your progress, and connect with people who are on your level. Marketing is the most valuable skill you can learn, because if you can sell your ideas and your value, you will never struggle to find opportunities. It is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Lesson 8. Time management. Protecting your life. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to accomplish so much, while others struggle to get through a simple to-do list even? Though everyone has the exact same 24 hours in a day, it isn't about raw intelligence, luck, or having the right connections. It is entirely about how they guard their time. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Once a second is gone, it is gone forever. Yet, most people treat their time as if it were infinite, wasting hours on things that don't matter, and then wondering why they never have time to build their dreams, get fit, or connect with their families. If you don't take charge of your schedule, the world will do it for you, and usually, it won't be in your best interest. Look at your daily routine with total honesty. How much of your day is spent mindlessly scrolling through your phone or overthinking things that haven't even happened yet? Every moment you spend on distractions is a moment stolen from your future. To get ahead, you have to stop being busy and start being productive. The key to this is prioritization. Most people are busy, but very few are actually effective. You need to apply the 80-20 rule. Realize that 80% of your results will come from just 20% of your actions. Identify those high-impact tasks, the ones that actually move the needle on your goals, and put your energy there. If a task isn't helping you grow or bringing you closer to where you want to be, you need to learn to say no. Saying no to the wrong things is the only way to say yes to your own success. Protect your focus like it is gold. When you are working on something important, turn off those notifications, put your phone in another room, and give it your full attention. If you let every little ping or request from others interrupt your flow, you will never achieve anything meaningful. Remember, your time is your life. If you don't value your time, nobody else will. Prioritize what truly matters, cut out the noise, and you will find that you have more than enough time to build the life you want. Lesson 9. Decision-making. The 10-10-10 clarity. Every single day, you are faced with choices that quietly shape your entire future. Think about it. The career path you pick, the people you surround yourself with, and the habits you choose to build. These aren't just minor incidents. They are the building blocks of the life you are creating. Some people seem to navigate these crossroads with ease, while others get stuck in a loop of overthinking, eventually making no decision at all. If you want to stop feeling lost, you need to master the art of making sharp, smart decisions. The biggest trap people fall into is seeking too many opinions. The more people you ask, the more noise you invite into your head, and the more confused you become. Everyone has their own agenda and their own fears, but only you truly know what aligns with your goals. So, how do you cut through the clutter? Try the 10-10-10 rule. Whenever you are facing a tough choice, pause and ask yourself, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel in 10 months? And finally, how will I feel about this in 10 years? This simple mental shift forces you to look at the long game. It prevents you from making emotional choices based on temporary stress or excitement, and helps you see the bigger picture. It is the difference between reacting to life and designing it. Also, understand that there is no such thing as a perfect decision. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. But the absolute worst mistake you can make is paralysis. Successful people decide quickly, take action, and if they find they are off course, they adjust as they go. They treat mistakes as data, not as failures. Once you get comfortable with making decisions and taking responsibility for the outcome, you will stop feeling like a passenger in your own life and start taking the wheel. Trust your gut, weigh the consequences, and keep moving forward. Lesson 10. Self-discipline, the bridge to your goals. We have covered a lot of ground today, but none of it matters without the final piece of the puzzle: self-discipline. Everyone has goals, and everyone has a vision of who they want to become. But the gap between having a dream and actually living it is filled by one thing only: discipline. It is the ability to do what you know you need to do, even when you absolutely do not feel like doing it. Too many people wait for motivation to strike. They wait for that perfect moment of inspiration before they start their workout, sit down to study, or begin that project. But here is the hard truth. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are fickle. They come and go like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, is a choice. It is a promise you make to yourself and keep, regardless of your mood. You don't need luck. And you don't need some secret inspiration if you have discipline. It is the foundation that supports everything else. Think of discipline as a bridge. On one side, you have your current life, and on the other, you have the person you want to become. Discipline is the only thing strong enough to carry you across that distance. When you force yourself to show up on the days you want to quit, you are building character. You are teaching your brain that you are a person of your word. We have explored 10 powerful skills today that can completely transform your life. But remember, knowledge without action is just potential waiting to be wasted. You don't need to master all of these overnight. Start small. Pick one skill, apply it today, and build from there. Your growth is entirely in your hands. Keep learning, keep pushing your limits, and never stop striving to be the best version of yourself. If you found this video helpful and want to keep growing with me, make sure to subscribe. Let's continue to learn, thrive, and succeed together.